So with all the videos, I'm constantly asked, Marcell, do you make these videos on information because you have an issue with white people? I have zero issues with white people. You can't even walk with God or attempt to walk to God, have hate towards anybody. What I hate and despise is stupidity and insanity of white supremacy. White supremacy is the most retarded religion I've ever seen. And to make a religion out of attacking melanin and trying to belittle melanin to prove that lack of melanin is superior and more melanin is inferior, is why I'm going to make a ton of these to prove why that is a stupid religion. So today we talk about eyes. Yes.
Today it's estimated that somewhere between 20 and 40% of Europeans have blue eyes. So what the heck happened? Where'd all these blue-eyed people come from? Short answer, genetic mutation. Here's a quick breakdown. Eye color is determined by the amount of pigment you have in your irises. If you have a lot of pigment, you have brown eyes. Less pigment, green or hazel. And when there's little or no pigment, you get blue eyes. So what causes your body to produce little or no pigments? Genetics. There are up to 16 genes involved in determining eye color, but the two main genes are HERC2 and OCA2. Wow, those sound fun and cool. The HERC2 works as a switch to activate your OCA2 gene, and the OCA2 gene activates proteins that produce pigments. If either of those genes are mutated, it stops the chain and pigments won't be produced. A study at the University of Copenhagen looked at the DNA of blue-eyed individuals and found that 99.9% of them had a mutation in their OCA2 gene that rendered it useless. This led scientists to believe that all blue-eyed people may have come from one single common mutant European ancestor. So next time you lock eyes with another blue-eyed babe, be nice, because odds are you're distant relatives.
So how does that mutation affect life? In particular, it affects what you get to see through your eyes. Today, the goal is to help you, melanin people, to have tremendous confidence in what God has done in your life, just strictly through your eyes. We have a bunch of other videos on other topics. Today is just the eyes. You ready? Let's go. The healthiest, the strongest, and in the world of vision, most superior eyes in the medical world, the scientific world, have the highest amount of melanin content. And the weakest eyes are the ones without melanin, right? So let's get to it. So when you see someone with red eyes, first off, when you see anybody with colored eyes, you're essentially starting to look at the back of their eye. That was not the way God intended the eye to be. Medically, the way the eye is supposed to be is almost should look black. That's the highest level of melanin you're going to get in the eye. When you start seeing colors in somebody's eye, you're essentially looking at the back of their eye. When you're seeing lines and all this kind of stuff in the eye, that's not good, right? The worst you could see is red eyes. That's the highest form of albinoism. When you see certain strands just coming off of that albinoism, you start seeing blue eyes, because that's the back of the iris. That's the back of the eye. That's not good in most cases, right? The most sensitive to light, it starts getting bad. So you wonder when you go to somewhere like Wales, or you go somewhere like England, or you go to any particular country, European country, you notice that the blues are soft blues, washed out blues, reds are washed out reds, yellows are washed out yellows, and that's considered classy, right? Just keep in mind, white supremacy always makes its weaknesses look like strengths. White supremacy always makes its mutations or weaknesses look like something cool, when it's never been cool on planet Earth ever, right? You gotta understand, when you go to people with high melanin content in their eye, melanin allows you to see on any level at any time the highest content of whatever that thing is supposed to be. Right? Even if you go to medical websites, a lot of times they let you know whatever treatment you're going to have, whatever we're going to assist you with, like this one here, it might not have the same effect if you have less melanin. The less melanin you have, the less promises they got to make. They're like, you're getting weaker eyes. It's more mutation of the human strand. You're going away from the natural design of things. At what point in history did having the weakest strand eye become superior? You even got some melanin people, right? Would you go around rocking homeless clothes? Would you go put on clothes full of pee and urine? So why would you go rock contacts? And I used to do this. So you're talking about a program Negro. I used to wear hazel contacts. I wish I had a picture to show you. I used to wear hazel contacts because I was so programmed that actually it was more beautiful to look at the back of my eye than it is to actually have an eye full of brilliant melanin, to see things exactly as they were created by God himself. So the question to the religion of white supremacy is, when did you change the narrative? So if you want to kill the brilliance of the melanin in your eye, keep eating American food. Food that's typically kind of geared to albino or white brothers and sisters. Melanin people, it's like kryptonite to us. You want to make your eyes sensitive to light, to not enjoy, you make it blind. Aspartame has been known to make African Americans incredibly sensitive to light. It's like kryptonite to the eye. I know I was drinking a bunch of diet drinks for one time for about a week. And for 3 days, I had to wear sunshades. Chemicals are like kryptonite to melanin people. Encyclopedia informs us that those Africans or those in sub-Saharan Africa have less glaucoma, have less eye issues, farsightedness, nearsightedness than anywhere else on the planet. To be truthfully honest, oftentimes when we have issues with our eyes, many melanin people is usually in the same cultures with our albino diets, albino food, particular processed foods is where you start seeing a lot more issues with melanin rich people, black people having issues with their eyesight, going blind from fake sugars, fake this, from that. We start looking like science projects eating the European albino diet. Melanin is not just a color. Scientists know this, chemists know this. Melanin controls, not influences, controls every fiber and being of the universe. When you get that, you stop letting those albino brothers and sisters, the 10%, control the thinking and the direction and the amazement of the 90% of the melanin people. This is Marcell Russell. 1 Corinthians 13 says, love delights in the truth. So in everything, in everything you do, breathe love. See you around, family. Peace. And breathe love.